The Center for Audit Quality presents Profession in Focus.
Hello, and welcome to Profession in Focus. I'm Cindy Fernelli, the Executive Director of the Center for Audit Quality, and I'm very pleased today to have Mike Leonardson here with us. Mike, you're at E&Y, and you are in the Americas Professional Practice. I want to get this right, auditing, focusing on technology enablement, data analytics, sampling methodologies, and other issues relating to the audit, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm curious to see your business card.
That's big.
But to that point, we hear a lot about data analytics, big data, and those types of phrases. They seem to be everywhere now. What do those mean, if you could help us parse through that? And then how do they apply to financial statement audits?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, Cindy. I appreciate it. That's a really good place to start because clearly there are many people with different views about what data analytics is and how we're using data analytics in our audits, among other places. Speaking very broadly, developments in technology over the past decade or more have led to the ability to analyze larger and larger data sets and to glean information from data that's never been accessible in the past. At a basic level, very basic level, analytics includes things like trend analyses, ratio analyses, correlation analyses, and the identification of outliers like key items, anomalies, etc. The data that we're using is either structured or unstructured. It can be both internal data at our clients or external data. Today we have businesses, governments, and other interest groups using data analytics to analyze enormous data sets and to synchronize and to correlate that data with other data sets from various sources. And they're using that information to analyze or to even predict mega economic trends, customer practices or customer preferences, and other pertinent developments. That's what we typically refer to as big data, right? Okay. In the context of an audit, we are using some unstructured data, primarily in the area of fraud audits. We're using external data. That is primarily in the area of broad risk assessments. But when it comes to the meat and potatoes of auditing, I mean, what we're primarily focused on is our clients' internal data and structured data. That data is being used in risk assessments, in some cases in tested controls. That's kind of the development phase right now, and certainly in the area of substantive testing, both supporting substantive analytics as well as performing tested details.
So as I hear you talking about this with great passion, and it does sound very interesting, it does occur to me that people wanting to go into accounting and auditing, students at universities, might need a totally different skill set than what we traditionally think of with respect to auditors and accountants.
Right.
How is that going to affect the pipeline? And what could the CAQ and the profession do to make sure we're attracting the best and the brightest?
That's a really good question. I wouldn't say it's a totally different skill set because we're always going to need CPAs. They're always going to need to have a background in accounting. They're always going to need to understand audit theories and audit concepts. But this is something new to the auditing profession. It's trying to develop an analytics mindset in our people. And for the newcomers coming out of the universities, we want them to be thinking much more analytically. Really, our auditors, our core auditors, will need to understand the data analytics tools that are available to them so that they can first try to address risks, audit risks, using the analytics tools. And then from that point, they would probably use traditional audit procedures to kind of fill the gaps, right? In the end, the use of analytics tools should really result in smarter auditing as compared to more auditing. And so our people are going to need to think more like business analysts, which really can make the industry, the profession more attractive, and it can just be more stimulating for our staff.
Yeah, so it sounds very exciting. I guess part of the challenge will be to get the word out and help younger people understand that the profession is a vibrant, growing one that will use all of these new tools and skills.
Yep, absolutely.
So Mike, tell me, are there any challenges with using big data or data analytics?
There are many. I guess I would say the biggest one is around data capture or data delivery. There is so much data that's out there. When I mentioned big data and some of the exploration that's going on, part of it's just, how broad can we think? How creative can we be? And we have a tendency not to be terribly creative in the accounting world, but I think we're doing a lot of great things in terms of kind of figuring out what data to capture, how that informs your audit, and almost more importantly, how does that impact your audit? A second challenge is methodology. So that was a segue there because, we can all figure out how to use the tools to learn more and how to get more information. But as I mentioned earlier, using data analytics should not just be a matter of auditing more. It should be a matter of auditing smarter. So to the extent that we're learning much more about our clients' businesses and the industries, et cetera, how can we leverage that in how we perform our traditional audit procedures?
Well, again, it sounds very exciting and dynamic, so more to come on that. Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks to all of you for joining us for this edition of Profession in Focus, and we'll see you next time.